Hey, Brendan here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Got another 2024 rookie report for you here on the channel. I'm going to be joined by Jason D. Rienzo, my podcast co host, and we're going to talk about Ricky Pearsall, 6 foot, 193-pound receiver out of Florida. Went down to the Senior Bowl, was one of the winners coming out of the Senior Bowl, and we're going to talk about his draft capital. We're going to talk about his scouting report. What are his translatable traits? What do we have to be worried about with his skill set? PFF grades, career stats. We got it all for you. You play fantasy, you play Dynasty, and you're looking for a YouTube channel out there that's not only going to give you a look at this year's rookie drafts, but early looks at the 2025, 2026, and in some cases, even 2027. Hit that subscribe button. You played fantasy, you played Dynasty. This is the channel for you. Let's get to the show. All right, Jason, let's get to our next rookie report. Let's talk about Mr. Ricky Pearsall. All right, we watched his all 22 films on LSU, Georgia, and South Carolina. And guys, if you listen to this or watching it or whatever, you can certainly reach out to me for my dashboard product. That's where all these are posted. These all 22 films are great. No better way of watching these players. So 6 foot receiver, 193 pounds, went down to the Senior Bowl and put a show on. I think he played in day one and maybe got nicked up a little bit,
Mhm.
but he went down there and was definitely one of the clear winners down there in the drills and in the practice.
Yeah.
But let's talk about his career statistics. You know, he was a late bloomer. Really late bloomer. Again, these are 5 year career statistics that we're talking about here. 151 receptions, 2,200 yards, 14 TDs, averaging 15.1 yards a catch. Pretty versatile player, played 60% out in the
Mhm.
slot or inside the slot, 40% out wide, 68% catch percentage. That's pretty nice. Only had 6 drops through all those years of playing college football, and he was 3.8 percent of his receptions were drops. All right. His yards after catch, 5.8. Don't think he's going to make his bread and butter with the ball in his hands. After the catch, ranked 162nd. Tackled, missed tackles force only 9. These grades are, by the way, are for 2023. These aren't career grades. Average depth of target 11, 282 is receiving grade 77. Contested catch percentage was 50%. Uh, and so that's like just above, 50%. Grade versus man coverage, 72%. So
Mm.
well, I'm going to let you kick this one off with his scouting report. Tell me why you like Ricky Pearsall. What are the translatable traits that you see in his game that he's going to lead to our dynasty rosters?
Yeah, when it comes to receivers, I really like to just see how it is all the way from the initial snap to the finish of the route. And Ricky Pearsall's pretty complete within that. I'm impressed with the arsenal of release moves that he has. I think he can get off the line pretty quickly. He's got decent acceleration. When he's in his route stem, he can definitely leverage the inside or the outside with some manipulation, hand fighting. He's not one of those guys that just sticks to the route. Like, he can run a complex route if he needs if he needs to make it more rounded in order to execute the separation, he will do it. If he needs to make it sharp, he'll do that too. So I do think he's very nuanced as a route runner. His ball tracking ability is outstanding. His hands, which I know that you saw too, his hands are great. He's got not the best catch radius, but he has good extension to the ball at difficult angles to make difficult catches, and I appreciate that as well. I wouldn't say he's one of the strongest guys, but I think he has solid functional strength in order to fight off competition. And also, if he needs to be used as a blocker, he's functional there too. So I think with Ricky Pearsall, he's just solid all around. I don't see a special athlete or anything like that, but the hands and the ball tracking definitely stand out, and he's going to be QB friendly down the field.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, one of my points on the scouting report was his strong hands. I mean, those films that
Mhm.
we watched
It's
were
so evident.
yeah. I mean, he's got some solid mitts. I mean, he's got some strong
Yeah.
hands, and his I thought his body control at the catch point was phenomenal. A lot of contortion, kind
Agreed.
of coming back. I really like on a lot of those films that we watched, Jason, where he really kept his head in the game from an intangible standpoint. I mean, he was always kind of coming back. Mertz was kind of always looking his way as his safety blanket this year. And in a lot of cases, the play was breaking down and he was staying involved in the route, even if it was, he went and turned and the ball wasn't coming, he would always adjust, I thought was really good. You said something that he's not more than like he's not a special athlete. Like I think he's got good athleticism. He's playing college football. He's going to make an NFL
Right.
roster, right? But I don't think he's going to be one of these guys that is going to just, has that uber athleticism. And the one thing that I was a little concerned about with his film was his vertical separation. I don't
Right.
know if, you know, I don't know what his speed is, but I agree with you. He's a physical player. I think in the short and intermediate parts of the field is where he is going to go. But just on a lot of those deep passes, the guy was in his back hip, and I don't think he's got the ability to, on a one-on-one nine or go route, to be able to win vertically. So it's probably just not going to be his game. But on the films that we watched, that's what I saw. Everything that you said, I think he is a good route runner and enough physicality to win at the NFL level. So there's a lot to like about his scouting report. Let's talk about his draft projection. Where do you see him being drafted in? Do you think he's a day two guy? I know we're post Senior Bowl and we have a little bit of buzz right now, but come April, I don't personally think he's a day two guy. I think he's a round 4 through 6 player. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. I understand the hype. I was there. I get it. Like he's an exciting player, but there's nothing that makes me think that a team is willing to use that kind of capital on a guy like this. He is definitely that range that you just talked about, that 4th to 6th, depending upon how different teams value him in the system and want to use him on special teams. That 4th to 6th range, I think, is the sweet spot. I think you nailed it.
So that's going to translate to a super flex, rookie draft, most likely a third round pick. Would you say?
Yeah, he could even slide into the 4th round, honestly,
Yeah.
just depending upon how these running backs get drafted. I think that's gonna tell how some of these back end receivers, where they go in these rookie drafts.
So who is your player comp for him?
Yeah, my player comp that I have from him is, Darius Slayton when he was coming out of Auburn. I did a lot of the Scouting Academy film on Darius Slayton. It just reminds me of Ricky Pearsall. Just solid all around, good hands, great adjustments to the ball, the body control, it's all there. So, I saw a lot of Darius Slayton and Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, Slayton is just a freaking tease in fantasy, by the way. I mean, he has a
He so is, I know.
yeah, he has had
Pearsall could
two.
be that guy too, we'll never
Yeah,
know.
he always has those 2 games a year where you're like, "Ooh, maybe something's gonna happen," and then it's 4 weeks of
No.
nothing. My comp for him was Khalil Shakir from the Bills.
I can see that.
I see a player who doesn't really win vertically, who's gonna win more in the intermediate and short areas of the field, a possession receiver, a wide receiver 2, similar in size. I think Shakir's got some physicality as well. I think he's a good route runner. I think he's gonna find a role on the Bills to continue to, be on that team. So,
Mhm.
that was my comp. I can't say that I'm the best comp guy out there, but when I see him and Shakir, I kind of see a similar role on a team where Shakir is a wide receiver 3 on that team, and that's where I think Ricky Pearsall is going
I
to
agree
end
with
up
that.
as well.
Yep.
So there is our rookie report on Ricky Pearsall.